All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Hope you all are having a good day so far. So I had a request from the members to check out this video right here. It has been it's been a couple of weeks. All right, it's been 3 weeks, but here we are. This one is titled 18 Minutes of LeBron James Truth Bombs. So what can I assume that means? Just flat out blunt truth about LeBron James, I assume. But either way, I love Basketball Universe, so let's check out this video together, huh? I'm going to link the original video down below in the description so you can check out Universe's channel. You also see a list of channel members down there, and I wanted to give a quick shout out to Kyle Ratapu. I hope I pronounced that right, but thank you, welcome on board. So new member alert right there, guys. Thank you very much for your support. Let's get right into this, huh? Like the vid if you could, hype the vid if you could. It all helps out, and let's see what this vid's all about.
LeBron is the greatest.
No! At what? That's an open-ended statement.
In mind, we can see the clear double standard that many media members create for LeBron. A lot of them go as far as to call him a top 5 player in the league. At worst, he's top 10. If a player of his stature is still considered a top 5 to 10 player, how would we react if they were guilty of doing the following in a 4-year span? Missing the playoffs, being the leader of the most disappointing team for the most storied franchise.
I remember.
Getting bounced from the first round twice.
I remember.
Being selected to the All-NBA third team twice. And failing to receive a single vote for the MVP in 2024.
Whoa. It wasn't 2024 where they got exposed for, Clutch Sports got exposed for trying to push the MVP narrative for LeBron James? Or was that 2023? It's all blurring together. But like Kendrick Perkins came out and talked about it, and it was all out there in mainstream media.
Wouldn't they all be crushed by the media? Wouldn't they all disqualify such player from ever being considered a top 5 player of all time, let alone the GOAT? They would do it for everyone except one person. If you were to mention the greatest teams of all time, your top 10 would surely include the 1996 Bulls, the 1986 Celtics, the 1987 Lakers, the 2001 Lakers, the 1971 Bucks, the 2014 Spurs, and the 2017 Warriors. Players such as Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Steph Curry, and Tim Duncan were a part of historic teams. Shouldn't it mean something that the supposed greatest player of all time is not included on that list? Not even one time out of 21 seasons? LOL, this is a joke. The Miami Heat team is one of the 10 greatest teams, the 2013 team. His Cavalier championship makes that team one of the 10 greatest teams because they did something rarely, if ever done, in the finals against one of the other teams on your top 10 teams. Checking my head, that's not true. We'll get to that. Shows that you was biased with your research. Do better. Okay.
Do better.
Let's go one by one. The 2013 Miami Heat team, I have mentioned in many videos, is now one of the 10 greatest teams of all time. And it should not be if playoff dominance is a factor for you.
Ironically, the Miami Big Three should have been one of the greatest teams of all time. On paper, they were one of the greatest teams of all time. But in execution, no.
Going 16-7 in the postseason, when you're that much better than all the other teams in the Eastern Conference. Now, going 7 games against the San Antonio Spurs, I get it. We all know how great of a team that was and what they did to them in the following year. But against the Indiana Pacers, when Paul George isn't in his prime yet, you're being dominated by Roy Hibbert.
Yeah, that's true. That should have been a sweep.
A fringe all-star at best. All the real top 10 greatest teams of all time was dom in the regular season and in the playoffs. The 2013 Heat did not check that box. Probably the biggest factor that you would consider when you're ranking the 10 greatest teams of all time. So no, they don't deserve to be in that list. That's considering the fact that Michael has played with one all-star teammate for his entire career. LeBron has played with 8. Seriously, what's the excuse for him not winning more? Michael's highs are clearly better. numbers clearly favor Michael as the more dominant scorer. But if you're on the LeBron side of the debate, you will surely bring up that this has more to do with MJ's aggressive scoring nature. Michael was a volume scorer, while LeBron is a pass-first player.
Yeah, and I get these comments all the time in my videos too. So why is he not to blame? According to his fans, would be, okay, let's see. LeBron is awesome because he brought a trash team to the NBA Finals. That's statement one. Statement two, they didn't win the championship because LeBron's teammates suck. And it's like the funniest thing in the world because, like, you know, I always just rebuttal with, well, wait, if you're going to give him all the credit for making it to the finals, doesn't he have to take the accountability for not winning in the finals? How is it that you know, despite his crappy teammates, he made it that far, but it's because of his crappy teammates that he couldn't win the final series? Like, I don't understand that. Because wouldn't you just say, oh, yeah, LeBron was great enough to make it to the finals with a crappy team, but he wasn't great enough to win a championship? Done.
How many times have we heard this false narrative?
Every day.
I don't know what your definition of a pass-first player is. For me, it's someone who facilitates more than he shoots. It's someone who has more assists than field goals. That is something that cannot be said about LeBron. He has had 6 seasons of averaging over 20 field goal attempts. In what universe is that a pass-first player? That is the definition of a scorer's mentality. You don't get to be the all-time leader in points, field goal attempts, and missed shots if you're a pass-first player.
Agreed.
That's not how it works.
Not unless he was the all-time assist leader as well. Then now we're rocking, but he's not even close. So I don't understand that whole idea. To me, it's as simple as that. He's the all-time leading scorer. He is not the all-time assist leader. He's not a pass-first guy. He's a score-first guy who can pass as well. The proof is in the pudding. It's in the numbers right there.
But even with all that strength, he has made the curious decision of constantly making one of basketball's weakest moves, flopping. We're not just talking about drawing an offensive foul to cause a turnover. That motivates your team when you're willing to sacrifice your body.
Yeah.
But with LeBron James, it's the theatrics. It's acting like you got shot when you weren't even touched. Is one of the traits that players hate the most. Even LeBron's former coach, Tyronn Lue, says something interesting to ESPN about his feelings about it during his playing days. He said, quote, "I hate that, man. Hate it. I would never want to do it." He must have been dying inside when he saw his star player doing this. It's one of those unwritten rules that you don't do if you're a player of his caliber.
Yeah. Hey, dude, I mean, okay, basketball always goes back to the parks. It goes back to childhood. It goes back to learning the rules of the parks, the do's and the don'ts. You flop like that in a park and demand that you get the ball back or whatever the case may be, you demand a foul call. You're getting your ass whooped. You can't pull that crap out there. So when you go into the professionals and you're supposedly the greatest of all time, self-proclaimed, you better not be doing this crap, man. You better not. Nowadays, things are soft. Back in the day, And I mean, I'll be real. You try to pull that crap in the parks right now, it's still not going to fly. But shoot, back in the day, you couldn't pull that crap off in the NBA as well. You know, other people are going to get you.
Art Barker recently dropped an article listing the 25 greatest NBA rivalries of all time.
Oh, sweet.
Number 24. Get out of here.
No, it's not a rivalry. They teamed up. It's not a rivalry. Get rid of it. That could have been, and it should have been. It's what us fans deserved. Dwayne Wade versus LeBron James. That's what we deserved. However, if you're going to call that short stint a rivalry, then D Wade won that rivalry. Guess who has a championship? You know? Yeah, D Wade, not LeBron. LeBron had to join Dwayne Wade in order to ever have some success. That's not what a rivalry is, dude.
Get out of here with that. LeBron James versus Dwayne Wade. Look at that picture. Do they look like rivals to you?
Yeah.
But how many times?
Okay, wait. Sorry to pause. I will admit, back in the day, before they ever teamed up, I used to love when it was a Cleveland versus Miami game. And, we all knew that these two were friends, but they would battle, so they would meet up at half court, shake each other's hands, like give each other a hug, and then it was like kill time. That was great for us fans. Then they teamed up and ruined it.
During their 4 regular season matchups each season, did they embrace each other, hug each other for prolonged periods of time, just making it known to the world how much they love each other.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how rivals act? I mean, have you ever seen Michael do this? Would a pure shooter ever be guilty of this?
How does he do
it? The number of legendary moments is too much to say that he wasn't a great finals performer. But then you have all the all-time low moments. The 07 finals. Look, there's nothing wrong with getting swept at that stage of your career against that team. But averaging 35% from the field.
Agreed.
Because you're that bad of an outside shooter. You can't just say, well, that doesn't count. If you're good enough to lead a team to the finals, then you're expected, at the very least, to play adequately. Mm-hmm. That was just horrendous.
Yeah, and that's all I can ever ask for when it comes to that series. Were they supposed to beat the Spurs in 07? No. I'm realistic, guys. I'm not that much of a hater. However, he should have been a little competitive. And even if his team was trash, he individually should have performed at least good, If I can't ask for great, can I at least ask for good? But it didn't happen. So that's why we call it a choke job, a collapse, whatever you want to call it. It's because he underperformed versus his average. You don't do that in the finals. And if you do that, that's when we have terms like, tragic magic and all this stuff, because it's obvious you didn't bring it when you needed to. Now, Magic, he overcame that by the next year. But with LeBron, this is an ongoing trend still to this day. And 2007 was a long time ago, guys. What, 17 years ago?
The 2007 finals, Manu Ginobili said that LeBron wasn't the best scorer back then. He was a great player, of course, but he wasn't the biggest threat. When has that ever been said about MJ?
Mm-hmm.
Manu was only being truthful. For that series, LeBron converted on 17.9% of his jump shots. They lost in the finals as the heavy favorites. It wasn't just the multiple bad games they had in the series against Dallas.
Yeah. This is the big one because you can't say, LeBron was all by himself. He had the star-studded team this time.
Is guilty of playing poorly in the finals. The problem was how passive and detached he was in critical moments in the fourth quarter. He kept deferring to his teammates, even when he had favorable matchups.
Yeah, you can't even call him a pass-first guy in this series because he was intentionally avoiding ever touching the ball. So you can't pass the ball if you don't touch the ball. This was an all-time shrink job. You know what I mean? He completely just shriveled up and shrunk down, and he was hiding from the moment. I mean, there are choke jobs where you're trying and you're just you're obviously not in it mentally, but you're out there still trying. This was just complete shrinkage, man.
How else could you explain those performances other than some kind of mental block that he couldn't hurdle over?
Yeah, y'all know what it's like to be you jump into an ice cold swimming pool or something. This is what it was. This is what it was for an entire series.
The 2011 finals is the very first thing that everyone brings up to build the case against him for being the GOAT. When you have that in your resume, you're automatically disqualified for being remembered as one of the 3 best finals performers. And I have a problem with the 2014 finals. Getting destroyed like that should absolutely count against
Yeah.
him. That's
true. That's true, because at that point, there's no excuse. You could say the first year, okay, if I'm going to be a LeBron apologist, I say, it was only their first year together, so that's why they lost to Dallas in the finals, because they didn't have the chemistry yet. And see, they won their next two championships, right? So they got it together. Well, then what happened in 2014? What happened then? How you gonna get absolutely spanked like that if you had it all together?
That's your team and say, hey, Dwayne Wade is now this version of the Flash, and Chris Bosh is Still Chris Bosh. I need to do more than the standard LeBron James performance. And what did he do? He averaged 1.1 more points per game than the regular season. You're averaging 57% for the series. They obviously can't stop you. Be more aggressive.
Agreed.
You are playing in their hand when you're not. I don't get it with him. How can Michael Jordan be the GOAT if he got bounced from the first round in 3 straight years? My GOAT never did that.
Your GOAT has missed the playoffs, what, 1, 2, not 1, not 2, 3 times now, I think? Is it more than 3 times? I think it's 3.
Well, how the tables have turned. I'm old enough to remember what the narrative was after getting swept by this very team in the previous year. They were saying that if Jamal Murray wasn't playing out of his mind, Lakers would have made this series much more competitive. Well, they got their wish this time around. He shot 40% from the field and 29% from the 3. But the results were nearly the same. They suffered a gentleman's sweep. And now, we have what just happened recently. The Minnesota Timberwolves have eliminated the Lakers from the first round.
Yeah.
Despite having home court advantage, despite having the best player of the series on their side, as well as another All-NBA player, they couldn't get past a team that so many people were saying would be eliminated in 5 games. Let's not act like people were saying that this very team was going to make it to the finals. If that was the expectation, then the word to use to describe what happened is that they choked. They had their opportunities to win these games. They couldn't get it done in big moments.
Yep.
Have you ever wondered which teams...
I mean, when it comes to that whole thing, like... Listen, MJ, this is normal in a career too. So no, I'm not taking shots at either of them on this one. In the beginning of their careers, of course they struggled. As they're building a team, they're figuring things out. You know, they're young players. It wasn't their turn, yada, yada, yada. What happens after that phase is what's important to me. So Michael Jordan goes on and wins six championships. LeBron is up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And as he's getting older in his career, more mature in his career, we see a drastic decline. Okay, so we see him he's missed the playoffs 4 times, actually, now that I think about it. Again with the Lakers. So you miss the playoffs, you win a championship, you get knocked out. Okay, I think you go to the conference finals, you miss the playoffs, you get knocked out in the first round. Like, these are the things that are happening. So if you could take a mature, like a mature LeBron James who has a very, very stacked team with the Lakers and a great organization with the Lakers, and not criticize him getting his ass kicked in the first round or not even making it to the playoffs, how can we criticize a young Michael Jordan for having trouble in the playoffs early on in his career? Because we can already do that with LeBron James, but I'm not willing to do it because I think that's just like petty, you know? But that balances each other out, okay? So what's going on now? This is just like bonus for LeBron that he's struggling. I don't understand the logic is what it is. If you look at the whole body of work, both careers and the struggles and, you know, the winning time, it's not the same. It's just not the same journey whatsoever. LeBron peaked for a little while and came crashing down. It's like a blow off top, you know. Jordan, he was a slow increase. He's like the S&P 500, just getting better and better and better.
Suffered the worst finals defeat in league history. If you look at the largest margin defeat for a final series, this is what you'll find. Number 1 is the 2018 Cleveland Cavaliers. The Warriors beat this team by margin of victory of 15 points per game. Everyone remembers that series for the J.R. Smith brain fart and LeBron's 51-point performance. But for the rest of the series, it wasn't very close. The numbers say that we've never seen a team lose this badly on the biggest stage. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably yelling at the screen. Well, what did you expect? The Cavaliers had no chance at beating this team with 4 future Hall of Famers. That may be true. So I present the team that is second on this list. That is the 2014 Miami Heat. The Spurs beat this team by a margin of victory of 14 points per game.
Damn, spanking.
Remember, this is a team that LeBron claimed would do this.
Yeah.
Not 5, not 6, not 7.
Now that I think of it, LeBron is a prophet. He was clearly talking about the number of times he would lose
in the finals.
There's still time to get lucky number 7. Anyways, this stat should be alarming to those in the LeBron camp. Should the GOAT of the NBA...
Anyways, he owes us 2 because he said not 7, so he owes us 8 finals losses.
Suffer the top 2 worst finals defeats in league history. That's not the only reason why they shouldn't be compared to each other. It's something that's more convincing than all the numbers that are out there. It's their mentality, specifically in the way they handle themselves among their star teammates. They both have had the fortune of playing with some stacked teams. Magic has played with supremely talented players such as Kareem, James Worthy, Jamal Wilkes, Norm Nixon, Bob McAdoo, and Byron Scott. LeBron has played with all-time great talent such as Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, and Carmelo Anthony. There is a huge difference in the experiences these players had when paired with LeBron or Magic. Dwayne Wade has expressed on multiple occasions that he needed to make sacrifices to play with LeBron.
Everybody
he needed to be
does.
less aggressive on offense and find other ways to be effective without the ball. Then there is Bosh, Love, and Westbrook, who needed to completely change their identity as players to fit in with LeBron.
Yep. Yeah. Look at Love. It's what I always complained about. Turning Love into a corner 3-ball shooter was not the right way to go. While he made the prime years in his career with Minnesota, he made his bread and butter just in this area right here. Dominating the rebounds, offensive rebounds especially, easy points close to the bucket, dominating on defense. This is where you wanted him, not out here. But LeBron James can't shoot. So LeBron James needs a wide open lane. He needs all of this space open. That way he can drive to the basket and dunk. Because you take that away from him, and that's his kryptonite. As we've seen, with San Antonio, we've seen with Boston, his rivals have played him that way, where they're just stacking the paint and saying, you can't come in here, you have to shoot. And then that's when, you normally see LeBron get swept. He never really played well with a dominant big guy. And this is why. Because he's had the opportunities, but he's never played well with a dominant big man. He always forces him out into the wing.
That caused a significant drop in their numbers, and they were nowhere near the same productive players in their new roles.
Yep.
The concept was always the same. He didn't sacrifice for you. You needed to sacrifice for him.
Nailed it.
It was the only way the team could strive. When has that ever been said about Magic Johnson?
Never.
He's the one that finds a way to adapt to his teammates' strength.
Yep, he made everybody better. That's as simple as it can possibly be. Magic accentuated everybody's skills. Like whatever they're great at, he helped them exaggerate it. That's what Magic was. A true playmaker.
He doesn't dominate the ball the way LeBron does. He will allow his teammates to shine.
Yep.
And he is more than willing to take a backseat on offense to his teammates.
Yeah.
That is a fundamental difference between these two players. Magic can dominate without scoring.
Yes. LeBron James, you call him a pass-first guy or whatever, but he dominates the ball, so I don't get that. Magic, he actually did. If you watch the games, he did not dominate the ball. His method was contagious because he was like, the second anybody's more open to me, I'm getting you the ball. And then that became contagious because no one was a ball hog. No one was allowed to hold the ball in that kind of an offense. It was just dish the ball until you find somebody open enough, score. And if you got a broken play and it's not working out, dish the ball to Kareem in the post. Fast. Do not hold the ball. LeBron James, notorious for holding the ball until there's 21 seconds, until there's 3 seconds left in the shot clock. Dish it out to somebody for a last second 3. That's not pass first. That's not what that is.
LeBron
That's
has
pass last.
never mastered this skill. He needs to score to be the best version of himself. 2022 Lakers are considered the most disappointing team in franchise history.
Yep, I thought they were going to win a ring.
They had 4 top 75 players on the same team. Yes, LeBron was injured and missed 26 games that year. That is something that is out of his control. What he could control was how he would integrate his new teammates into the system. He could have put his team in a better position to at least reach the playoffs in his absence. When he was healthy, he failed to do so.
And Russ has come out and talked about this recently because he hates LeBron at this point, calls him fake and phony and all this stuff. Basically, it's like most of us know. All the stuff that LeBron was saying to the media, oh, we got to let Russ be Russ and blah, blah, blah. We got to support him by letting Russ be Russ. That's not what it was behind the scenes at all. So, yeah, it's... How are you going to let Russ be Russ, but at the same time, you're saying that to the media, but at the same time, you're forcing him to become a three-point shooter. That's his weakness. So you're doing the opposite of letting him be him. You're forcing him into the worst possible role he could possibly play and saying, yeah, we're letting you be you. No, that's not how Russ plays.
He went 25-31 for the games he played. They had a losing record even when he was on the floor. Even with all that talent, he did not make his team better. Getting injured doesn't save him from the failures that team experienced.
Agreed.
The reason why
He's
I
the
mention
leader.
this is because this seems to be a pattern of behavior. This was not a one-time offense. Remember Game 5 of the 2010 semifinals against Boston, when he also wasn't aggressive on offense.
Yep, you see them pack the paint? The second he made a move in, they packed him. What are they really daring him to do? Take that jumper right here. This is what they're daring him to do, but he's not willing to do it because he, especially at this time, he had no jumper. But you want to come in at any angle, they are trapping you. You can't get in here. So then what happens? You end up dishing to your teammates, and this is where the narrative comes of, oh, his teammates suck. You know, because they're not hitting the open shot or whatever. Dude, no, your leader needed to overcome this strategy that was written exactly for you, and it just didn't happen. The dare wasn't to pass. The dare was to hit the jumper and then force them to play you honest. But you couldn't hit the jumper, so they got to sag off of you and pack the paint.
2010 semifinals against Boston, when he also wasn't aggressive on offense. Every so often...
And I bring this up, I'm sorry, I'll rewind it. I bring this up because they did the exact same thing to Jordan in the 80s until Jordan said, F this, and started hitting jumpers. Okay? He became a complete player because he'd hit jumpers, and then they had to change the strategy. They had to double team him high now because Jordan can hit a jumper over anybody. So now they're double teaming him everywhere on the court. So then the next stage to become a complete player is now with the double team, I'm going to hit the open guy, and hope they hit the shot. But if they don't, MJ can still hit that jumper on two guys, no problem. But LeBron never got to that stage where he said, all right, you're going to sag off me by 4 feet? I'm going to bust a jumper right in your eye, play after play until you learn to play me honest. He just never did it.
Against Boston, when he also wasn't aggressive on offense. Every so often, he has to fight those demons when things don't go his way in the playoffs. He would seem visibly frustrated and then check himself out of the series. That mindset of fighting till the end, of shooting until your bullet chamber is empty, is not something that can always be said about him. It's the same
I wish it was.
show.
I wish it was. I really do. I would feel different about his all of his finals losses if instead of shrinking at the end, he actually went balls to the wall, all out, and left it all on the floor. Make, miss, doesn't matter. As long as you're really, really trying and you're leading the team by saying, look what I'm willing to do. I wouldn't be such a hater. I really wouldn't. Even if he was losing all these finals, if he really just tried, and wasn't doing this built-in excuse crap so you can blame someone else, if he just took it all on his shoulders and really went balls to the wall. I think of like Jordan losing to the Pistons in '89. I can't discredit Jordan because he went all out. He did everything he possibly could and still got his ass kicked. Is what it is. Got to be a winner, got to be a loser. But with LeBron, he hides from the moment. That's what drives me nuts.
That we've had to endure for over 2 decades. This is a cycle that we've seen for 82% of his career. He gets this enormous amount of hype from certain people who thinks he's going to win a title. He then falls short in the playoffs. The media blames everyone else but him, even though they picked this very team to win it all. He then expresses his frustrations by posting some cryptic message or passive-aggressive comment from his agent. This is the point of the cycle that we are currently in. After so long, who wouldn't grow tired of a player complaining about the lack of help after you play with a total of 8 all-star teammates for your career?
That's why every so many years he has to go to a different organization.
All he needs is 3 more, and he'll have a complete 12-man roster.
Absolutely, I agree with that, but I also do think LeBron is angry about, or upset about the Jordan comparisons. I do think he's tired. That's why
LeBron James is tired of the Michael Jordan comparison.
That he started himself by calling him the greatest of all time. Oh, so the bully is the victim now. That's so 2025 of him.
2018, he's talking about his 2016 championship. He's talking about coming back from 3-1 against the Warriors.
Yep, you're on it.
And what does he say?
Yep.
That one right there made me the greatest player of all time.
That's what I think.
I thought he was chasing ghosts. Apparently, he made up his mind and he surpassed him at that moment.
Yeah.
This is the most important and valuable player of the sport at that time. He knows this. He knows how much impact his words have. When he calls himself the greatest of all time, what are we supposed to do with it? How does he expect us to react? He's creating the narrative.
Yeah.
He is giving us topics to discuss. And it started even before he played his first NBA game. He helped create this monster. LeBron has played all 82 games once in his career. Why is that? Does he get injured?
Wait, when did he do that? 2017? Did he really?
Once in his career. Why is that? Does he get injured that much? Let's take a look at the evidence. Do you see those random games off that he's taking? We're looking at his game log from 2015, 2016, 2017, and beyond. Those were rest days, aka load management. This was something that he clearly participated in. The time is ticking now to get the most of him. You need to start building around him accordingly. And this is a long-term plan. You're not thinking about how we can build with Luka and LeBron. No, he is not a part of your future plans. You don't need him anymore. The idea of thinking that a 41-year-old player can be one of the driving forces of a championship-winning team is beyond stupidity.
Anyways, honestly, the Lakers are so good without him, and it's cool we're getting this time for them to prove it, how good they are without LeBron. I don't think they want LeBron to come back. He's going to ruin the chemistry that they have.
Expectation when you're a player of his caliber is to win multiple titles. One isn't enough if you want a statue outside the arena.
Yeah, especially LA.
He did not reach those expectations. This isn't Kobe Bryant or Magic Johnson, who were lifelong Lakers, who gave you 5 titles apiece, where you owed them and the fans for them to retire with that same team. He is nowhere near their level. But we don't have to go that deep. It all boils down to this. What Michael accomplished in a short period is more than what LeBron has done while playing basketball for over 2 decades. We're talking about Jordan winning 2 more titles, 2 more finals MVPs, 1 more regular season MVP, and 9 more scoring titles. He still has the lead on that while playing in less than 5,000 career games, including the playoffs. With all that information, we can draw the logical conclusion that Michael Jordan was a superior player at his peak.
All right, well, that one that ended really, really sudden there. So, yeah, I mean, great video. I agree with everything that was said. Obviously, I tried to put my take in before he did and see if we matched up, and we're matching up. So, I don't know. I don't know what to say about it all, except for it's just so blatantly obvious that this shouldn't even be a conversation. Like you said at the end, one guy named Michael Jordan came in, did way more was way more successful in a short amount of time. He did it with one team. He didn't need to team hop and ring chase and build super teams, play GM, and do all of this crap. Blame his teammates for the off time, get multiple coaches fired. He didn't have to do any of this stuff. He just played basketball, and he was that damn good. He was just good at it, okay? The greatest I've ever seen. LeBron played way longer and was guilty of all those things that I listed. And also won way less. You know, you think 4 and 6 is not that big of a difference. Yeah, that's a whole 33% less. And then not only that, but yeah, homie has... he's lost quite a bit in the NBA Finals, okay? When you're losing more than you win in the Finals, that's a stain. You know, that's a stain. He's 40% in the Finals. That's not good. Guys, that's not a good percentage. Especially when you're going against... Okay, listen. I'd say it's good if you weren't going against 100% in the Finals, 6-0. That's why I just don't understand the conversation. If you want to make an argument that LeBron James is top 5 all time, let's do it. That's a real good conversation to have because there is an argument for it. Do I have him there? No. However, if you do, there's a real conversation to have here because there are players that we can throw that are like the equivalent of what he's accomplished, and we can go head to head and see how it works out. But when you're going against Jordan like that, and he did this intentional by calling himself the greatest of all time, he's saying I'm better than Jordan. When we're doing that comparison, it's not even close. It's not even fair. I would stay the hell away from that conversation. If I was LeBron, I'd be campaigning for number 2 all time because it seems like he has that much influence. He can brainwash people into believing that he is the second, at least, greatest player of all time. But Jordan was just that next level, you know? I mean, Kobe did it without even campaigning that he was the second of all time. Anytime he was asked about Michael Jordan, like, are you better than Jordan? He'd be like, no, Jordan's the best. Like, he said it all the time, all the way into the end of his life. Will he admit that he was trying to surpass Jordan? Absolutely. But will he ever say, I'm better than him? No. No way, because it's disrespectful, 1, and 2, you know better. Look at the careers, you know? So, yeah, I'd be fighting for number 2 if I was LeBron, because that's a cool spot to have. You know, imagine you're the second greatest of all time in a sport, a major sport. That's a pretty cool title to have. But it ain't good enough for him. So him going for the top spot is what is going to kill his legacy. Because at the end of the day, he ain't going to be number 1. He ain't going to be number 2. And we're going to have, it's going to be a hell of a debate. Is he even on the top 5? And then after that, is he even on the top 10? You know, because we got to talk about guys like Tim Duncan and Shaquille O'Neal and Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant. Are you even on the top 10? But I'll tell you, he had everyone so brainwashed that if he didn't pull this greatest of all time statement, he probably would have been number 2. It would have just been a gimme. People would have given him that number 2 spot. But it's respect for respect. And he disrespected all the greats. And we haven't forgotten about it. So, anyways, you guys, I've been rambling about this for a long time in the outro. Yeah, LeBron, what a silly guy. I'm out of here. Like the vid if you could. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. Hit that subscribe plus if you want to support my channel. And most importantly, the be water, my friends.